Hi everyone, it's Susan Jones. Today I have a fun video for us where I am going to share 3 common mistakes that are made when teaching phonics. And don't worry, I'm gonna also teach you how to fix those mistakes. I've been uploading quite a few literacy videos in the past couple months, and some of my favorites are how to teach sight words according to the science of reading. I did another recent video about phonological awareness activities, and I did a fun one with some literacy dice games that are super simple. You just grab some dice and they're great ways to review different skills. That one looks like this right here. You can actually see all of my literacy-based videos in this playlist right here. I will link it down in the description in case you want to see what other topics I go into. But as I was thinking about more literacy type videos to make, I came across this idea as I was starting to notice some of the things I might have been doing wrong and wanted to share with you. So before I dive into these 3 common mistakes, if you happen to be making any of these, don't feel bad about yourself. We're just gonna learn something new. I've made all these mistakes in the past too, and we will see how to fix it going forward. So if you're ready for this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and let's get started. Common mistake number 1 when teaching phonics is that you forget to focus on vocabulary, fluency, and comprehension. We know just how important a solid phonics foundation is, along with phonemic awareness and phonological awareness, so we spend a lot of time focusing on phonics and getting our young students to actually be able to decode words. But we must remember why. We want to teach our students that they can decode for meaning, right? So while you are definitely supposed to continue focusing on phonics, there are some simple ways that we can integrate fluency, comprehension, and a little vocabulary to give your students more well-rounded instruction. Another thing to remember that many of your students who are struggling to decode and struggling with their phonics are likely also struggling in vocabulary. It makes complete sense that we are really just teaching them to decode because, of course, if they cannot decode the words, they cannot understand what they are reading, but we can make this more well-rounded by front-loading them with any vocabulary that might be in their decodable passage, let's say. There are some simple activities we can do to get students really thinking about their comprehension, fluency, and vocabulary while still focusing on phonics instruction too. So let me just give you a few ideas. If you're working on phonics and you're teaching students to decode, when you get to a nice decodable text for them to read, either a passage or a story, you can have them retell the story after they've finished it. A simple retelling of the story will get them to think about, okay, what did I actually decode here? What did I actually read? After retelling, you could ask them some simple questions. Think of those question words: who, what, where, when. Depending on the grade level will depend on the difficulty of the question that you ask them, but even with the most simple decodable passages, there are usually characters. There might be a setting. There might be a what happened. Was there a problem in the story? Was it solved? Students can answer these questions to show that they understood what they read. To take it even one step further, you could have students write down a response. So after they have read their story, maybe they want to add on to it. They can get a piece of paper and add onto their own story. Maybe they want to write a different ending to the story that they read. If there were any vocabulary words inside the passage that really stick out to you as the teacher, definitely pull them out to discuss. I would first front load those before they go into their decodable passage, unless it is decodable, that vocabulary word. Or afterwards, you can again discuss it and have them write a sentence using that vocabulary word to show that they know what it meant. So 3 quick things to keep in mind when you are reading a decodable phonics passage. Number 1, have them retell what happened. Number 2, ask them some simple comprehension questions just to check in. And number 3, you can extend their learning with either the vocabulary or the story itself by having them write a response. I knew in my own teaching, especially with my kindergarten and 1st grade students, that I would spend a ton of time focusing on straight decoding and those phonics skills because, again, I wanted my students to be able to decode before they could understand. But knowing that I needed to make a switch, I actually made an entire product last year, these decodable comprehension passages. You can see here that they are very simple to read and the comprehension questions are equally as simple. But after the students have read the story 3 times and they move the little stars over, they can actually answer the comprehension questions and they can pick the little image that matches the story as well. By having students not only read the story over and over to practice their fluency, check in to answer some comprehension questions, and then also find an image that matches what happened in the story, it was an easy way for me as the teacher to make sure that they were not only decoding everything, but of course understanding what they read as well. I created a bunch of those for all sorts of different phonics skills. I will link them in the description in case you want to take a look. Common mistake when teaching phonics number 2 is that we focus too much on words in isolation. We do, of course, want to break it up, so we want to start with the sound. Let's say it's CH. We will explicitly teach them what CH is, a digraph that makes ch. And then we will go into words. We'll have them even manipulate different words. We might have them do some word sorts. But many times we can often forget to make those words authentic, and that means by putting them in some real text that tells a story. Because while of course it is vitally important for students to be able to decode that one word, we want them to see that word in an authentic manner where they would actually see it in real life to be able to decode and read. Thankfully, this one is an easy fix. After you have students focus on that sound, after you have them focus on all the different words that have that sound in it to decode, then you want to give them some decodable sentences before moving into decodable passages. This scaffolded type of instruction is a great way to build their confidence and again, keep increasing the rigor of students being able to decode these words and again, moving them towards that more authentic text. Once your students feel confident decoding those individual words, you'll just want to generate a couple easy sentences for students to read with those words in it. Now just be careful when you are creating those sentences that you're not adding some more difficult words inside the sentences. This is a mistake I was definitely guilty of in the past. I would not look super closely at the other words that were being used in the passage. Instead, I would try to focus on just the skill at hand. And in doing that, I was actually introducing all these other words that my students couldn't decode yet, and therefore really kind of decreasing their confidence that they had when they were trying to read the words. They may have been able to pick out that CH word and decode that, but again, they couldn't read it authentically because I had introduced too many other difficult words, if that makes sense. If you're looking for a resource to help out with this, I just recently came out with my one-page decodable sentences unit. It looks like this, and here you can see that students will, up at the top, they will review some of the focus skills that you are talking about, and then students will have to read the words with that skill in it. So they'll move from the skill down to the actual individual words, and then you have some sentences here that are simple for students to go ahead and read, decode, and comprehend. And then to extend it a little further, because I like to use these in intervention groups, I will have a place for students to encode 2 words and also a place for them to draw a picture of one of the sentences. And drawing the picture really ties in with tip number 1 because I can see if they comprehend what they're reading. You can definitely make your own sentences, but I wanted to share that resource because it is a great one for combating this common mistake. And I'll go ahead and link that in the description in case you want to check it out. Okay, and common mistake number 3 when teaching phonics is that you forget to review sounds you've previously taught. So we know the importance of systematic phonics, meaning that you are teaching in a systematic scope and sequence, right? So you want to start with the letter sounds. Make sure your students master all the letter sounds before moving on to CVC words. And as of right now, there's no set in stone scope and sequence that is, perfect for first grade, let's say. For example, I often see consonant blends, so beginning consonant blends and digraphs. I see them flip-flopped quite a bit in different experts' research, and I've taught them in both orders and didn't really see a difference in terms of which one needs to be taught first. So take that or leave it. What's most important is that you actually have a scope and sequence that you plan to follow to make sure that all those skills get taught throughout the year. But what's most often forgot is after you teach those skills, we tend to just go on to the next one and we start focusing on that skill, decoding, encoding, decodable sentences, whatever the steps are. But we forget to go back and review the skills we've previously taught. When we forget to review these skills, our students often aren't reaching mastery with them. They are just getting exposure to new sounds, which is great, and they're getting practice, but we really need them to master those old skills. So how can we go ahead and fix this? If you are using something like those one-page decodables, that already has, I think you saw at the top, it had the 4 review sounds. So those will have not only the target skill at hand, but they will also have skills previously taught for students to review. And those will be actually in the sentences as well. So something about that sentence unit that I created is all of the sentences only have sounds that were taught previously. So it goes in its own systematic order. So when you are doing this yourself, you'll want to do something similar. So let's say you have your own phonics small group in front of you. You will not only want to review the main skill at hand or teach them a new skill, but you'll also want them to review the sounds of 2 or 3 or even 4 old sounds that they've also learned. After reviewing the sounds, if you go into something like a word sort, you can have the new skill be one skill to sort, and the other category can be an old skill you've already taught. Maybe you've already taught the digraph CH, so that might be one category for students to sort. And then you're also introducing long E, spelled in a few different ways. So students can read the words in front of them. If they notice that it has a long E sound, they can move it to one pile. And if it has the digraph CH, they can move it to another pile. And then you can even try to find some words that maybe have both, or misfit words that don't really belong, so they can talk about that too. I love doing word sorts. That could actually be its whole own video. So if you want to see something like that, leave me a note in the comments. So if you're in a small group phonics lesson, you can review both new and old sounds. Then you can integrate the spiral review in your word work part if they're manipulating sounds through a word sort. If you're having them write down the words that you say aloud, you can do old words and new words, so they're practicing both skills. And then of course, when you go into those decodable sentences, you'll want to try to pick ones that have some old patterns in them too, along with the new patterns. Being really cognizant and aware of what you're actually putting in front of your students allows you to make sure that you're kind of reviewing the old skills along with the new ones and giving them the best phonics instruction you can. So there you have 3 mistakes that are commonly made when teaching phonics. Now remember, if you make some of these mistakes, 1 of them, 2 of them, all 3 of them, don't beat yourself up. It is totally fine. That's why they, again, are commonly made mistakes. Just try to take the ways to fix it and try to implement them into your classroom. Try to focus on just 1 of those mistakes first and try to make it a little bit better, then move to the next one and the next one. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up so I know. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel and click that bell. That way you're notified of every new video. See you in the next one. Bye.